My name is Jessica Wait. This is my language disability project for SLP242. This project will focus on receptive language usage, specifically targeting the skill of following directions. For this project, I will be teaching 3 preschool-age children, ages 3 to 4, to follow directions, primarily one-step directions. The children will be seated here, over there across from me, and right here beside me. For children with language disabilities in the area of receptive language, following directions is one critical area that would likely be affected. If a child is unable to consistently follow directions, this will have a negative impact on his or her academics. School is largely based on following directions, making this an essential skill for any child's academic success, and even more so for those students with learning disabilities. This therapy session will take place under the assumption that all 3 children have mastered many of the basic concepts, such as colors, size, shapes, quantities, and negatives. I will start out by telling the students what we'll be working on during the therapy session, followed by an explanation of why it's important, and then we would play a game of Simon Says to practice the skill. The session would start like this. At school, teachers ask us to do many things. Sometimes the teacher asks us to stand in line. Sometimes the teacher asks us to wash our hands. Sometimes the teacher asks us to clean up our toys. And sometimes the teacher asks us to sit on the carpet for circle time. Those are all what we call directions. It's very important that we follow the teacher's directions. If we don't listen very carefully to the words the teacher says, then we won't understand what she wants us to do or what she does not want us to do. Being able to follow directions also helps keep us safe. Can you think of anyone else who gives us directions? Oh yeah, Miguel. You say your mom gives you directions? Okay, that's a great example. Well, what does she tell you to do? Oh, she tells you to sit down at the table to eat dinner? Very good. Julie, does your mom or dad ever give you directions? You don't know? Okay. Well, what about you, Victor? Oh, okay, great. So your dad tells you to put your toys away? You've got it. Well, today we're going to practice listening very carefully and following directions. There are certain kinds of words that people use when they are giving directions. If someone tells us to do something and we don't do it, it's usually because we either didn't hear or understand the words that they used. Usually a direction will have an action word in it. What do you think action words are? Oh, Julie? You think action words have to do with doing something? Julie, that's exactly right. Victor, Miguel, can you name some words that have to do with doing something? Well, I'll help you. Some examples are clean up, bring, give, take, put, stand, sit, stop, tell, and come. So, if I tell you to sit down at the table, what action word am I using? Victor, you said at the table? Listen again very carefully. Sit down at the table. Right, Miguel? Sit down or sit is the action word. Let's try another. Give me the pencil. What was the action word? Yes, Julie, the action word is give. So, when we hear parents or teachers using action words, we know we need to put on our listening ears so that we know what to do. There are other words to listen for when someone is giving us directions. After we hear an action word, we should listen for colors. Give me some colors. Yes, blue, red, yellow, green, brown. Great. We also need to listen for sizes. Who knows what sizes are? Tell me some sizes. Well, how about this? Is this pencil bigger or smaller than the table? That's right. It's much smaller than the table. Okay. Tell me some shapes. Yes. Circle, square, triangle. Awesome. Now we also need to listen for places. A place might be the table, or your cubby, or the rug, or the door, or the sink. We also need to listen for words that tell us not to do something. Those are words like not and don't. When you finish a craft, your teacher might say, go put it in your cubby. When it's time to eat lunch, your teacher says, go wash your hands in the sink. When it's time for circle time, your teacher might say, okay, sit on the red square on the rug. When it's time to clean up, your teacher might say, put the blue car in the red bucket. Okay, now, who wants to play a game? Oh, good, everybody does. For this game, you all need to put on your listening ears. Are they on? Julie, are yours on? Miguel? Victor? Okay, good. Now, I'm going to give you directions, and you are going to follow the directions. This game is called Simon Says. Have you ever played Simon Says? No? Okay. Well, here's what you do. If I say, Simon says stand up, then you will stand up. If I say, Simon says touch your nose, then you all touch your noses. But if I say, walk in a circle, don't do anything. You only do what I say if you hear the words, Simon says. Okay? Listening ears on? Okay, let's try. Simon says, touch your head. Good. Simon says, touch the table. Okay. Simon says, stand up. Simon says, stand on one foot. Put your foot down. Oh no! I didn't say Simon says. That's okay. Let's try again. Simon says, touch your toes. Simon says, walk around the table. Good. Okay. Simon says, clap your hands. Spin in a circle. I didn't say Simon says. The lesson would proceed like that, and if the students seem to be having particular difficulty either grasping the concept or with the activity or any part of it, I could simplify it by giving simpler directions, or breaking down each step for them. Or I could also modify this activity by modeling, doing the activities with them. Simon says, touch your head. I touch my head too. Simon says, walk around the table. I get up and walk around the table with them. If the students are catching on really quickly and it's too easy for them, I could increase the difficulty by either giving 2-step directions, 3-step directions, or just making the directions that I do give more complex.